Hello, this is John Hoffs. I want to tell you the story about the time I worked on a TV movie. It was 1981, and the name of the movie was Isabel's Choice. It was the story of an older business executive played by Richard Kiley, who is being sort of pushed out of the firm by the young up-and-comer played by Peter Coyote. Gene Stapleton of All in the Family fame plays Riley's secretary. I'm sorry, I meant Kiley, Richard Kiley, not Riley. And there was also some bit parts to actresses that were anything but bit, and by that I refer to number one, Mildred Dunnick, who I had the pleasure of picking up from the Beverly Wilshire Hotel to take her to the set. And the other one was Betsy Palmer, and she was quite popular in the late 50s and early 60s. The movie played on the CBS television network, and as far as I know, it's pretty much been forgotten today. I want to say, though, in tribute to the movie, that its director was Guy Green, who was a very famous British director and director of photography before that, reaching such heights of cinematographic grandeur as David Lean's Great Expectations in 1948. He also directed a couple decades worth of American movies, most notably A Patch of Blue in 1970, and also he directed The Magus with Anthony Quinn. Part of my job was to pick him up in the morning and take him to the set. He had a house up in the hills of Hollywood, really Beverly Hills, and he was unfailingly polite. I so respected and admired him that I adopted his manners verbatim and use them to this day. He was an elegant gentleman of few words, and I noticed that whenever on our rides to the San Fernando Valley, to the studio, that he had this keen interest in all of the construction projects that were going on, not only in his own neighborhood but throughout the city. It was almost as if he was an engineer or an architect interested in the construction of things, and I found that very fascinating. The producer was a man named Stuart Millar, who was a friend of my mother's, and he was a colorful figure in his own right. He had that producer's personality that, we're going to get this done, we're going to make this, we're going to do this. He had a track record that was quite notable. He had directed the famous football movie Paper Tiger by George Plimpton, starring Alan Alda. he had uh, produced Little Big Man with Dustin Hoffman, so he was quite in the thick of the business. But when you start to do TV movies and uh, Hollywood is very fickle, and he had a project about the fashion industry. He had a script, and he dispatched me to Edith Head's estate. It was so old Hollywood, it was amazing, and I went up to the door and rang the doorbell, and Miss Edith Head, legend of costume design, was there to take the script. And then tragically, I also went to Joan Hackett of the great beauty and the talented actress who was so memorable in The Last of Sheila in the 70s. And she, unbeknownst to me, had cancer and had just a few months to live. And she asked me just to leave the script on the kitchen table, and I didn't see her. Um, I might have actually. It's a kind of a painful memory. I might have seen her, but I can't be sure. So those are some of the stories surrounding my work on the made-for-television movie Isabel's Choice that was produced and released in 1981. Until next time, when I'll have some more stories of my career in Hollywood, this is John Haas wishing you a good Christmas, because it's 12/25/19.